So I'm Jon Pahl, the Peter Paul and Elizabeth Hagen Professor of History at the Lutheran Theological Seminary at Philadelphia. The course I'm teaching this spring is entitled In Vino Veritas, which is a Latin phrase that means in wine, truth. Now, there are lots of ways to interpret that phrase, and that's what we're going to be exploring together in this class. People have been drinking wine for roughly 7,000 years. So it serves lots of different purposes. And when you go back in history and explore the origins of wine in the ancient Middle East, in Turkey and Armenia and Iran, you begin to discover that people have always put extraordinary stock in the fruit of the vine. Almost any culture where wine has taken root, it has flourished for thousands of years now. Why is that? What is it that human beings find so important to care so deeply about wine? So it's a 5-week class, and we'll look at the origins and ancient history of wine, back to King Midas and the Egyptian pharaohs who stocked up big vats of wine to take with them into the afterlife so that they wouldn't be thirsty. The Hebrew prophets, who sometimes had some interesting and controversial things to say about wine, but in Torah and in the writings, the Song of Songs, wine is celebrated as something that makes both God and humans happy. All right? Study early Christianity and the way the early Christians incorporated wine into the central rites of the faith. And then 2 weeks spent on America, on the origins of the first grapevines in the United States, down to Prohibition, that grand experiment that Ken Burns wrote a great documentary about. We'll take a look at some of that. And then since Prohibition, the flourishing of wine in Napa, Nirvana. So it'll be a course that is historical, but also pays attention to culture, to the meaning of wine drinking, to the rituals associated with wine across religious tradition, especially Jewish and Christian, but also those who have no claimed religious affiliation can come join the conversation, we hope, and contribute to our mutual pleasure. It should be a great class, and a lot of discussion, a lot of interaction, and maybe even a tasting or two.